event and twice a state runner-up in the 200 freestyle. He placed fourth in the 200 freestyle in 1997 and was a 16-time high school All-American. He still holds school records. Think about that one, 20 years. He still holds school records in the 200 freestyle and the 500 freestyle, records that have stood over 20 years. In cross country, his personal best set of 17:59, 17 minutes 59 seconds in a 5K cross country race is still a top 20 time in Hawk and Boys cross country. He was also a standout all 4 years in the Hawk and Choir, which I think is pretty cool. He went on to swim at the University of Texas, where he was a first-team NCAA All-American. He won a Big 12 championship in the 1650 freestyle in 2002, and he captained the team with 3 Division I NCAA championships. When we started the Hawken Athletics Hall of Fame 5 years ago, of course, many swimmers' names came up immediately. We consulted, of course, Jerry Holtry on that and asked him what he thought. And Jim Pullen was on Coach Holtry's short list from the very beginning. It is not just accomplishments, not just his accomplishments that stood out, but his work ethic, and his leadership both at Hawken and at University of Texas that make Jimmy Pullen an all-time great. Ladies and gentlemen, our next inductee, Mr. Jim Pullen.
It's a huge honor. It's a huge honor to join the previous inductees. My journey to bring me standing before you has been a long one. I'm sure the same as any inductee. I'll bring you in at my age of 10 when I joined the Lake Erie Silver Dolphins, coached by one Mr. Rick Stacy. So every day, my parents would pack up the 5 children. We would eat dinner in our minivan, have a huge stack of plates, knives, forks, spoons, go to swim with Rick. An hour one way was a huge commitment. Time passed, I eventually joined Jerry, started swimming with Jerry, who probably more people in this room know than don't, but for those of you who don't, Jerry has an international reputation for success, achieved strictly by working his swimmers harder than any other program. We started doubles, of course, during the summertime. It was 4 one-way trips for an hour of 2 practices a day of that. Started getting close to high school. Where would we go to high school? We live in Stowe Munroe Falls, an hour away. My folks started a swimming program at a almost 2,000 person public school. I'm sure we can only imagine how hard that is. That program still thrives today. 22 years later, after they began it, I ended up going to school at Hawken to continue to be coached by Jerry. My older sister, Jamie, switched schools mid-high school. For those students in the class, I'm sure that some of you have done that personally. You can only imagine how traumatic a social experience it might be voluntarily switching high schools halfway through.